knew how to build sailing sloops, you know, they had to take to the high seas. We're talking about an era in Bahamian history that was and have not been told, was not told for 40 years in my view, to the average Bahamian who these politicians have bamboozled, who the politicians have hoodwinked, have run amok and led us dividingly astray for as long as at least the two sitting prime ministers, because they have not in 40 years echoed the Hebrew name that scholars, the average Bahamian who voted in 7 of May 2013 do not even know. What is the definition for the word scholar? Well, anyway, when you find out that meaning, then you'll understand this point. Yahweh is the Hebrew name of our God. And we are the Hebrew chosen people of the Most High. And on the 48 days leading up, today will represent 6 days. 6 is the number of man. 7 is God Yahweh's number, the Adonai, the Elohim. Now, when you put that 6 and that 7 together, if you want to get spiritual and get out of the religion, because it is the religion who have, in my view, humble opinion, because I want to be guarded what I say, because I represent a warrior on the wall for the people of God, the Hebrew people of God. I am a Hebrew Israelite. No man on the planet will ever, ever, ever persuade me that I am a Gentile. And I thank God it was Steve, I could run on, but I thank the people. On the 40th year, let us lift up now the Hebrew name of ourselves. Study, that means to study who you are as black people, especially your last name. And then stand up for the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and the Bahamian preamble of our Constitution, 1973, and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, 1948. On these points, Amos Miller rests his case. I thank God for that opportunity. It is a great day because she is a great woman. And
today is one that's meant to stir your mind and your imagination.
Indeed.
You know what it is that we're supposed to be doing as a nation.
Thank you, Lord. Adonai, Yahweh Elohim. Jehovah, some of us call him in spirit and in truth. Glorify the King. Now, 40 years later, as a sovereign nation, seed and heir to a beautiful Bahamian history story, historical story that only can be told today by myself. I thank God Yahweh in the spirit of the Christ, the Yeshua, who grants me favor and allow me to enjoy the 3 elements that sustain my human life for 40 years in one case and 43 in the other. I thank God Yahweh, Son, the Yeshua, the Christ, that I know that no weapon formed against the truth in any respect as it relates to the Hebrew Israelite seed and people can prosper. Over 8, 7, at least $6+ billion have been spent in our country by our sitting prime ministers and former prime minister. Sitting prime minister and former prime minister. And I'm here just to simply suggest that it was the talent of your forefathers. For them, for me, I have to say grandfather. For the leaders of our nation, that's your sitting prime minister and the former prime minister, they will have to say, I say my grandfather, they will have to say father. So their father passed something over to them that was and have become very valuable, in my humble opinion, that was squandered. In respect to and criminal in this regard, and corrupt in this regard, that the very same opportunity they were given by the generation before them in respect to their talent, when the opportunity came for them to exhibit the very same talent on behalf of the generation that looked out for them, they were to consume in the wealth, the authority, and the rule. In other words, the power of the people consumed them. But it all belongs to God Yahweh. Everything in the Bahamas and everything on the 7 continents. Let this be known. According to the Bahamian Constitution, Chapter 3 of our Bahamian Constitution, Article 28 explains clearly the rights and protection every individual in our country deserve. Okay? And how their right ought to be protected by the rule of law and enforced, if necessary, by our Supreme Court. Every man is presumed innocent until proven guilty. A whole quote unquote, end quote. On the 31st of May 2013, in respect to a case Justice Milton Evans heard, 9:30 in the morning, in regards to Amos J. Miller, Junior Miller. A case in respect to a divorce hearing that he would have heard with the young man, ex-wife, or now, and wife at the time, the loan and everything were taking out with the First Caribbean International Bank. Justice Evans, in respect to case number 03, in respect to 01341, in respect to case 01341. And thank you, Yahweh, for the correction. How could you, Justice Evans, ruled on a man's single largest investment, a commercial investment, by the time everything is told? Mr. Gart McDonald of the First Caribbean International Bank, sir, you have fixed that case to be heard 9:30 in the morning on a time when the justice would have perhaps asked y'all when would be convenient, a convenient day for y'all. And or however it was fixed. And by right it's fine, the day was fine. The issue is not the day, and the issue is not the fact that I owe the money. The issue here is that I only need a certain time to get copyrights and intellectual recognition to certain rights and certain works, rights to certain works that I would have the privilege of claiming right to. I'm not saying I do not owe you your money. My ex-wife and I does not owe this money. Why was it convenient if in respect to the case with First Caribbean International Bank? That came about because the marriage went its ways. And when the truth is told in respect to the 2 sides or the 3 sides, sir, then justice will prevail in the 3 cases in respect to the 3 interests involved. Now, with the greatest respect to the Supreme Court, if a man has no money to get a lawyer, why is he being told that to put in an appeal